Hi, I'm Sheldon Miller. I'm here at the Craftsbury Sculling Center, and welcome to the National Learn to Row Day video. This video is sort of an introduction of what you can expect at National Learn to Row Day. We're going to cover some of the basics from parts of the boat, what to wear, what to bring, as well as basics of the rowing stroke. Each club's going to do this differently, whether the boat's different or whether their presentation's a little bit different. There are going to be a lot of commonalities, and that's what we're going to cover today, is sort of the broader strokes. So, well, why don't we start off with what you should bring or what you should wear. Things you should think about bringing. Out on the water, there's a lot of reflected light, so you should bring sunglasses, even if it's starting out as a cloudy day. Likewise, a hat or sunscreen are always good things, because you can really get fried to a crisp pretty quickly. Water is good. Depending on the part of the world you're in, bug spray might be appropriate too. Lastly, a word about clothing would be that if it is a cooler day and you need a heavier top, it's important to have something sort of fitted so your oar handles don't get caught in the baggy clothes. Likewise, it's not just for pure vanity's sake that people wear spandex. Some sort of tighter fitting short or pant is really preferred, because you can easily get caught in the mechanism of the boat and come to an abrupt halt that is not fun for anybody. So anyway, with that, why don't we start in on some of the parts of the boat, and we're going to do that right over here. This boat is an Australian boat. It's a Sykes Racing single. So whereas the boat I was standing next to earlier is designed a little more for stability and user friendliness, or rough conditions, this boat is purely about going fast. The one thing I can say, just to allay your fears that you might be thrown in a 10-inch wide single the first time out, that will not happen. This would be what you would progress to. But while there will be differences from clubs to club, there will not be a club that's going to throw you in their racing singles right off the bat. So don't worry about that. Now, there's basically going to be three major differences between a sculling or rowing shell and the dories you might be familiar with from fishing or paddling around a lake. The biggest one is going to be the sliding seat. The sliding seat allows you to use your legs as part of propulsion. In fact, that's the dominant part of propulsion in rowing, is your legs and the leg drive. And this, unlike the static seat of the dory, is going to let you use your legs a lot more. The other thing at the end of that is there's a pair of shoes for you to put your feet in. Shoes or sometimes clogs. In either case, it's just a place to give you a little more purchase, a little more stability to push from. The third thing is going to be at the end of the rigger here. It's going to be the oar lock. The oar lock is different than a standard or dory oar lock in that the oar is able to spin, is able to rotate, as well as move up and down. This rotation, along with the movement, is going to turn this 10-inch wide boat into something very stable in a technically proficient sculler's hands by not having it locked in. So those three combinations of things are going to be in any rowing boat or shell that you come across. With that in mind, why don't we go work on the parts of the stroke. So this is a Pinert Zephyr. This is one of the boats I mentioned earlier. It's a little more designed for stability in either rough waters or just for people who aren't as confident in their abilities yet. So to illustrate a little bit of what I was explaining about the oar lock, let's just show you here. So I run the oar out to the end there. And you'll see, as I was mentioning about the rotation, there are basically two states you could be in. This one's called feather, and this one's called square. And it's just by rotating the oar handle, you can switch between the two. Another important fact to notice is that there's no input from me, but that the blade is at the depth it needs to be to pull on. That's something that, is very helpful to keep in mind. You don't need a death grip. but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here. So just to review, feather and square. Those are going to be very important things that you do as part of the rowing stroke. And now it's time to get in the boat. It's handy to have, I neglected to mention this earlier, but it's handy to have easily removable shoes for this, because you don't want to wear your shoes in the boat. I shove away from the dock here. Okay. So, the first thing I want to start with is a little bit about stability of the boat. Right now, I have both my oars flat on the water. As you will recall, I have them feathered, to use our word from the last section there. With the oars feathered, the boat is very, very stable. I mean, I can even with a little bit of, it's quite stable. This is something that's always helpful to remember if you ever get to a stuck spot, that you are feeling ready, like you're going to blow over or something like that. You can always feather your oars and just ride a little bit, sort of right yourself and come to grips with the next stroke. So beginning from that same sort of stable position we were just talking about, we're going to cover the 4 phases of the stroke sort of in an overview and then in a little more detail. The one thing I'm going to say right off the bat is this all sounds a lot more complicated to verbalize than it is to do. It's really quite intuitive when you're in the boat and on the water. With that being said, the 4 phases are the catch, the drive, the release, and the recovery, and then that which leads right back into the catch. The catch is the part where my body's prepared, I'm extended, my legs are compressed, and I'm ready to begin the propulsive phase of the stroke. The drive is where I extend my legs, push with my legs, bring the arms into the body, and pull against the water. The release is where I bring the blades out of the body, out of the water, and begin the preparation to start the stroke again. The recovery is where I bring my body back over my legs and get ready for the catch to start another stroke. So with that in mind, let's go through one. So here I am, I'm at the catch. This is the drive. There's the release. And this is the recovery to another catch. Drive, release, recovery, catch, and so forth.
Catch, drive, release, recovery, catch, drive, release, recovery, catch, drive, release, recovery, catch, drive, release, recovery. Thanks for joining us here today at the Craftsbury Sculling Center. Hopefully we've given you a little bit of a sense of the basics of what to expect on National Learn to Row Day. We're really excited that you're going to try out rowing. It's a great sport, it's fun and dynamic, and you can compete and enjoy it your entire life. Hopefully you'll have a great day, and we'll look forward to seeing you out on the water and maybe up here at Craftsbury someday. Take care.